Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are located today. Thank you for joining us today and for attending this webinar, Solo Travel in Central and South America. While we wait for everybody to get into the platform, I will start presenting myself. My name is Ana Camerar. I work with Emerging Destinations. We are a sales and marketing representation company, a boutique representation company in North America, in US and Canada. And we are proud of representing different DMCs, hotels, and cruises across three main regions or continents, Europe, Africa, and the Americas region. On today's webinar, we will be covering our clients in Central and South America with a special focus on solo travelers. Because we have quite a big and diverse portfolio in the Americas region, this webinar might take a bit more than 30 minutes. We usually try to get under 30 minutes, but because of the different destinations and products we have, it might take 40-45 minutes. We will try to keep as shorter as possible. However, if you need to step away or answer the phone, don't worry about that. We are pre-recording this webinar and we will be sending a follow-up email to all of you with this pre-recording early next week. And we will also upload this recording on our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations, and on our website, emergingdestinations.com. So again, I will try to keep as shorter as possible, but if you miss any part of this webinar, don't worry, there will be a recording that you can access anytime. Before starting with our Solo Traveler webinar in Central and South America, let me give you a brief overview of the clients that we have in the portfolio. Of course, I will skip the ones in the Americas region because we will be speaking further about them in a few more minutes. But just to give you an idea of what we can do for you in Europe and in Africa. In Europe, we represent Iceland Pro Group in Iceland, which has two companies, Iceland Pro Cruises, sailing on board the Sea Venture around Iceland and combining Iceland and Greenland, and the sister company, Iceland Pro Travel, which is a DMC with offices in Reykjavik, which can help you with any itinerary in Iceland, either land itineraries or also if you want to book the cruise through them, they can help you with that as well. Another company that we represent in Europe is Paxmore Greece. They are a DMC with offices in Athens, but they also have an office in South Carolina in the US, which helps a lot when speaking about time zone differences. So we can help you in Greece with Paxmore Greece DMC with any itinerary and any need about hotels, yachts, villas, activities, tours, transfers, etc. And the last but not less important client that we have in the Europe portfolio is the tourism board or convention visitor bureau of Porto and the north of Portugal. Again, this is an amazing destination that I had the pleasure to visit a long time ago. It was 1999, if I'm not wrong, 24 years ago, but it's sort of a booming destination nowadays. Porto is a beautiful city, and Portugal in general is an amazing country that you can either do only Portugal or you can combine Porto and the north of Portugal with Spain. So if you need anything with the north of Portugal and the city of Porto, please let us know and we will be more than happy to help you with that. Going to Africa, we represent Adventure Consults DMC, which is a DMC in Uganda and Rwanda, especially if you have any requests for gorilla trekkings. They are amazing. Brian, the owner, is really very, very helpful. and he's really very nice to work with. Then we represent the Anantara Basaruto Island Resort property, which is a 44 villas hotel located in the Basaruto archipelago in the Indian Ocean, a paradise for scuba divers, also an ideal destination for honeymooners that maybe are doing a safari in South Africa. It works perfectly as an extension. There are direct flights from Johannesburg to Vilanculos Airport, which is the airport you need to fly into to get into the archipelago then. That's an amazing, amazing property. We represent in Zambia two sister properties, the Royal Livingstone Victoria Falls Hotel by Anantara, which is located with direct access to the big falls, a 5-star property, and the sister company next door on a 4-star range category, which is the Avani Victoria Falls, also with direct access to the falls. Then in South Africa, we represent Eco Training. They are doing and providing amazing wildlife courses in South Africa, but also they have some courses running in Botswana and Kenya. We represent in Kenya 3 clients, the new JW Marriott Masai Mara Lodge, which was opened last April, and I had the pleasure to stay for the pre-opening in February. It's a 20 ultra luxury tented camp on the banks of the Talek River. We represent the Crown Plaza Nairobi Airport Hotel, which is the only 5-star hotel in the Nairobi Airport Hotel in Kenya. And then we represent Marasiana and Atua Encop luxury camps, both companies we're offering camps in Kenya. Marasiana in the Ripoi Conservancy and Atua Encop have 5 luxury camps across Samburu, Nakuru, and the Mara. We represent the country of Sierra Leone, the tourism board of Sierra Leone, which is on the west of Africa and a new destination ideal for people looking for some adventure. And I think I'm not missing anyone. No, I cover everybody in Africa, and then of course our clients in Central and South America that I will start to speak about in a few more seconds. So if you have any questions, if you would like to speak further about any of those clients or destinations, we are more than happy to schedule a Zoom call. If you need digital brochures or printed material, you have my email address at the bottom of your screen now. Just drop me a line and I will be happy to assist you. Just a few housekeeping notes. Remember that we are recording this webinar. So again, if you need to step away to have lunch or answer the phone, don't worry. Early next week, I will be sending this recording and we will be uploading on our website, emergingdestinations.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations, which I highly recommend that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. All attendees are mute, but if you need to ask a question, I will be time permitting, I will be answering the questions at the end of the presentation. So type your questions on the control panel on your right. And when I finish my presentation about these clients in Central and South America, I will go through your questions and we'll be answering one by one. If we run out of time, don't worry, I will make sure to send you a private email and answer the question or give the information that was missing. So I think, let me check my notes. Yeah, I haven't forgot anything. So it's time to start with our webinar for solo travelers in Central and South America. So let me, okay, here we go. The first destination on this solo traveler webinar across the Americas region will be Bolivia. This is a small country in the heart of South America, and we will start the webinar. We will start each presentation of each country with some interesting data on each of the countries that we are presenting, okay? Just to give you a more sort of overview about the different destinations or countries that we are suggesting for you and your solo travelers. So some interesting data on Bolivia is the highest and most isolated country in South America. It has two capitals. We have the administrative capital, which is La Paz, and is the highest capital in the world with 3,500 meters above sea level, something around 11,700 feet. As I mentioned before, and speaking about the capital of the country, have in mind that it has two capitals. La Paz is the administrative capital, and Sucre is also considered a capital. And in fact, we say that Sucre is the official capital of Bolivia. Bolivia is home of the world's largest salt flat, the Salar de Uyuni or Uyuni Salt Flats. We will speak about it in a few more minutes. Of course, we are including this captivating site in the must-visit places list when in Bolivia. As you can see on your screen now, that reflection that can be experienced during a certain period of time in the Salar de Uyuni is absolutely magical. Then another interesting fact about Bolivia, Lake Titicaca is not only the largest freshwater lake in South America, but also the world's highest lake. It sits 3,800 meters above sea level in the Andean Altiplano. It is also said that Lake Titicaca is one of the last 20 ancient lakes in Earth with more than 1 million years. This marvelous lake is shared between Bolivia and Peru. Bolivia boasts 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, being the most popular one, the city of Potosí. Bolivia has the highest population of indigenous people in all Latin America. Around 55% of its population is indigenous. And therefore, another interesting fact is that it has 37 official languages. However, as almost all countries in Latin America except Brazil, Spanish remains widely the most spoken language. As you can see, Bolivia is an amazing country, sometimes underseen in comparison with other options in South America, and there are a lot of highlights to be explored and discovered. So the first question is, how do we get to Bolivia? There are direct flights from the US, Miami, the most used, to Birubiru International Airport in Santa Cruz. It takes approximately 7 to 8 hours, and it is an overnight flight. Have in mind that if your clients don't want to do just Bolivia, they can combine it either with Peru, Chile, or Argentina. As for the time zone, Santa Cruz is 1 hour ahead US East time, like Miami or New York. Hidalgo Tours DMC, our newest client in the portfolio, are pioneers in the southern of Bolivia. They have more than 35 years of experience designing and operating amazing tours and itineraries in Bolivia with their own guides. This is a unique selling point of this DMC. They do not outsource any tour, any transfer. So all the trainings, standards, and quality are extremely well controlled and are at the top of level. They tailor-made everything and have a wide range of tours, excursions, and activities. As I was mentioning before, of course, you can concentrate a trip just in Bolivia, and if that is the case, you can mix different cities, areas, and highlights from Santa Cruz, a cosmopolitan city and the most populated in Bolivia, to Sucre, the capital city, from Potosí, which used to have the biggest silver mine in the world in the 16th century, to the Titicaca Lake and the Uyuni Salt Flats. However, today we are presenting or focusing in just one big and fascinating attraction, The Uyuni Salt Flats. The way we are doing it is in combination with the Atacama Desert in Chile. So let's imagine that we start in Bolivia. International flights will arrive into Santa Cruz, and from this city we will take a flight to Uyuni, which is a 2-hour flight. Uyuni is the gateway for tourists visiting the world's largest salt flat. It has a permanent population of approximately 29,000-30,000 inhabitants, but receives approximately 60,000 visitors per year. The entrance to the famous salt flat is located approximately 20 minutes drive from downtown. You can spend it in Uyuni, or your solo client can spend in Uyuni as many days as he or she wants. Just have in mind that you will be at approximately 3,600 meters above sea level. This is around 200 meters higher than Cusco. So you will feel the altitude, and our recommendation is to take it easy and don't make a very busy itinerary or packed day. So maybe 3 days, 2 nights, or 4 days, 3 nights would be ideal. While at the Uyuni Salt Flats, Hidalgo Tours DMC will offer you the beautiful and luxury Palacio de Sal Hotel, or Salt Palace Hotel. It is owned by Hidalgo Tours, and it was the first salt hotel in the world. It has 42 rooms, a spa with a jacuzzi, and an infinity pool overlooking the salt flats. It has a modern bar, a restaurant, and a boutique or gift shop. It's not a minor detail to mention that the hotel offers private bathrooms in all rooms, Wi-Fi, hot water, and heated blankets in all rooms. As for the 42 rooms, Palacio de Sal Hotel has 15 standard rooms, 1 double and 14 twins, 15 VIP rooms, 10 doubles and 5 twins, and 12 suites. Usually, all services and activities are offered in private, and depending on how intense you want to have your day, it can be a full day of approximately 6 to 8 hours exploring and stopping in different attractions, or do some excursions maybe in the morning, and then take advantage of the hotel facilities in the afternoon. As for the activities or excursions itself, we usually start at Colchani village, visiting the market. Then we take guests to the salt factory, where they can learn about all the process to convert the salt from the salt flats to the salt that we use in our meals. The Dakar monument that you are seeing on your right on the screen, which is made of salt, of course, and which was constructed after having the Dakar Rally competing here during 3 years. And on the left side of the screen, you can see the Incahuasi Island, where you will find more than 4,000 different species of cactus. We will do also a visit to the Tunupa volcano, and of course, a sunset, which is one of the most magical moments on your trip to the Uyuni Salt Flats. It is a year-round destination, but you need to have it in mind that there's a dry season and a wet season, and some activities or attractions can be done or seen in a specific season. The dry season is from April to November. All attractions can be accessed. The lowest temperature at night in July can be -20 Celsius degrees, something around -4 Fahrenheit degrees. The wet or rainy season is from January to March. During this period, it will not be possible to visit the Tunupa volcano nor the Incahuasi Island that you are seeing on your screen on the left. But the good thing is that between December and May is when the reflection happens. That picture that you saw a couple of slides ago, it is a phenomenon where the sky reflects in the salt flats, a very Instagrammable picture. On today's webinar, we are suggesting doing the Uyuni Salt Flats in Bolivia in combination with the Atacama Desert in Chile. But remember that you can do an extended trip of around 10 days and do only Bolivia, as we were mentioning before. So let's go to our second destination, which is the Atacama Desert in Chile. Before immersing in the Atacama Desert, let me share with you some fun or interesting facts of Chile, the country of Chile in general. Chile is one of the longest countries in the world. From north to south, the extension is about 4,300 kilometers, something close to 2,600 miles. Brazil is slightly longer from north to south, and if you measure Russia from west to east, they are even much more longer. But Chile can claim the title of the narrowest country in the world. The average width from west, the Pacific Ocean, to east, the Andes Mountains, is about 180 kilometers only, which is about 112 miles. The total population is estimated in around 19 million people, and 30% of them lives in Santiago, the capital city, and greater Santiago area. This aerial view that you are seeing on your screen now is Santiago, the capital city, at night with the skyscrapers. There are 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Chile. And for wine lovers, Chile is the 6th largest producer of wine in the world and the 4th largest exporter. They produce 5% of the world's wine. The wine region is located very close to Santiago, the capital city, so it's really very easy to add 1 or 2 days in the wine country to any itinerary, even with this one that we are doing, Uyuni Salt Flats and Atacama Desert, as your clients will need to pass by Santiago either to enter or leave the country. Chile is considered for many people as the world capital of the astronomy. It is a great place to go stargazing. That is very romantic now. It's not ideal for a solo traveler, but at least you can dream. And the Atacama Desert in the northern of Chile is home to 50% of world's light collection capacity. Another interesting fact of Chile and the Atacama Desert is that it is considered one of the driest places in the world. Do you know how much it rains during a year? It receives less than 12 millimeters a year. That is something around 0.47 inches. It's nothing. The flight connection in Chile is really very good, and all major airlines from the US and Canada have several daily flights to Santiago. It usually takes 10 hours overnight flight, and as for the time zone, Santiago, the capital city, is 2 hours ahead US East time, like Miami or New York. If you're starting the trip in Uyuni Salt Flats in Bolivia, then there are flights from La Paz in Bolivia to Calama in Chile with LATAM Airlines. Our client, Chile Concept, a DMC with offices in Santiago and in Punta Arenas in the region of Patagonia, is a boutique DMC, but even if they are boutique, they have great negotiations with major 4- and 5-star hotels across Chile as a big company, thanks to the business relationship the owners have been built among the years. They are very flexible to work with. They do not require a minimum to spend. They tailor-made everything, and they can issue the domestic flight for you and your clients as well. A typical itinerary covering the most iconic places in the Atacama Desert would take 4 days and 3 nights. And the main attractions we may include are Cordillera de la Sal, Valle de Marte or Valle de la Muerte or Death Valley in English, and we end up in the famous Valle de la Luna or Moon Valley, where you can experience an incredible sunset with an unparalleled view of the Atacama Desert. On the following day, we can visit the Salar de Atacama, which is the largest salt reserve in Chile, and then the Altiplano Lagoons, which is part of the Flamingos National Reserve, located at about 4,500 meters above sea level. This national reserve will be a paradise not only for solo travelers interested in wildlife, but also for photographers and those who love the stunning views and contrast offered by the volcanoes and the Andes that surrounds the lagoons. On the last day, we suggest a very early morning at around 4 or 5 a.m. to go directly to the Tatio geysers and spend some relaxing time while having breakfast, admiring this unique geothermal landscape. We usually leave a visit to San Pedro Atacama town for the end of the itinerary. We can do a farewell lunch at this cozy and isolated town before taking a flight back to Santiago or to the next destination. As for the hotels, there are plenty of options offered by Chile Concept DMC in this region, like Aguasi, Explora, or Tierra, as well as Alto Atacama, Noi, or Cumbres. It all depends on your solo client's budget, style, and interest. Uyuni Salt Flats in Bolivia and Atacama Desert in Chile works perfectly together for a solo traveler interested in isolated places, photography, and contact with nature. Another great destination, either for an extension to those two destinations, or if you want to leave Bolivia behind and just concentrate in Chile, you can combine Atacama Desert and Torres del Paine National Park in Chilean Patagonia. The contrast between the north, as you can see on this screen now, and the south, as you can see now, will be amazing. Just have in mind that the season or period to go to Torres del Paine in Patagonia is usually from September to April, and this iconic destination is considered a paradise for hikers because the famous W circuit. UNESCO declared it a biosphere reserve and 10 years ago was named the 8th wonder of the world. A flight from Santiago to either Puerto Natales or Punta Arenas in Patagonia usually takes from 3 to 3 hours and a half. We are proud of having in our portfolio of cool companies in cool places Las Torres Reserve, which is composed by a 4-star cozy hotel, Hotel Las Torres Patagonia, and a selection of camping sites, mountain hostels, and refugios located along the famous O and W trekking circuits. So the good news here is that if your solo traveler client is more adventurous and want to do the hiking, we can offer you and your client this most sort of basic type of accommodations. Hotel Las Torres Patagonia is ideal for that traveler that wants to experience the national park, but combine some trekking with some other activities like navigations to glaciers, horseback riding excursions, small walks, van tours. It's also staying at the hotel a great option if you have a hiker that still wants to do the W circuit in a more comfort way, having his or her private bathroom, comfy bed, and a la carte restaurant every day after an 8-hour hike. For those solo travelers interested in doing the hiking and staying along the trail, they will have the chance to interact with other travelers with the same interest, not only during the hiking, but also at night when having a meal at the refugio. The accommodation in the mountain hostels and refugios are on bunk beds for 4, 6, or 8 people each room, and the bathroom, even if they have hot water, of course, they are shared. The W circuit trekking usually takes 5 days, 4 nights, and the O circuit trekking usually takes 8 days, 7 nights. In case your solo client prefers to stay at a comfy hotel, it is an all-inclusive program. We recommend to stay between, I think, 3 nights, it's not enough. I would say 4 or 5 nights. And the all-inclusive program means that it includes not only the accommodation, but also transfers in and out, entrance fee to the national park, all meals, all drinks, including the alcohol, of course, with the exception of some premium alcohol, and a menu of more than 15 half-day and full-day tours with English-speaking guides. So no matter if he or she is traveling solo, during the day, your client will not feel alone at all, as we will be sharing some great excursions with other 6 to 8 guests staying at the hotel. The hotel has a total of 74 rooms and suites, all of them with private ensuite bathroom, hot shower, hair dryer, Coiron restaurant, Pionero bar, and a wellness center with sauna and a spa suite to take a massage at an extra charge. As you will find a few other hotels, either inside or outside the national park, it is important to mention that Hotel Las Torres Patagonia is a unique option and where your client will be able to really be immersed in the local culture. In addition to that, we can say that we have the best location that you can find in the national park. And this is because the owners of the hotel, they owned the land before it became a national park. It is a family-run business managed by the 4th generation of immigrants from Croatia. They settled last century in this area when there were absolutely nothing at all, and they started its cattle ranch business. Around 30 years ago, when the first backpackers doing the W circuit started to knock at the door asking for a hot chocolate or a soup, they realized that there was a potential new business opportunity related to tourism. So they moved the cattle to another pot of land close by and converted the ranch in a cozy lodge. And then from that lodge, we have nowadays a 4-star hotel with 74 rooms and suites. Because they are a private reserve within the national park, Las Torres Patagonia is the only hotel allowed to offer horseback riding excursions in the national park. So this, together with the location and the history behind the property, is another unique selling point to mention to your solo client. So leaving behind Chile with its marvelous Atacama Desert and Torres del Paine National Park, our 4th recommended destination for your solo traveler is Ecuador. Some interesting facts about this tiny country are, for example, number 1, that because the country is split by the equator in 2, the daylight hours are pretty regular throughout the year, no matter if it is summer or winter. And we can say that the sun usually rises at 6 a.m. and sets at 6 p.m. 50% of the world's bird species can be found in Ecuador, and there are many endemic species as well. You can find in Ecuador 106 reptiles and 138 amphibians. So if your solo traveler is a bird watcher or loves wildlife, this is a destination to include for sure. Quito is the 2nd highest capital city in the world, after La Paz in Bolivia. Quito is located at 9,350 feet above sea level. The old town of Quito was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it really worth at least a half-day tour on your first day before you continue your trip to the Galápagos Islands. The official currency in Ecuador is the US dollar. And I love this interesting fact that I learned when I was preparing this webinar for you, that the Panama hats are not from Panama. Did you know that? They are from Ecuador. Apparently, the confusion came when Roosevelt was pictured wearing one of those hats when visiting the progress of the works at the Panama Canal. The connectivity or the flight connection between North America and Ecuador is good, and you will find daily flights from major airlines. Just to give you an idea, the flight between Atlanta and Quito, the capital city, takes around 5 hours and is a non-stop flight. Quito is on the same time zone as New York and Miami, and the Galápagos Islands are 1 hour behind them. Our client Enchanted Expeditions can help you customizing a perfect trip for your solo client. A very common combination is the Galápagos Island in Ecuador and Machu Picchu in Peru. There are a lot of people doing both attractions or countries in just one trip, and Enchanted Expeditions GMC can help you with the extensions in Peru as well. However, as I heard one time a couple of years ago when I was in Ecuador, if you are selling both destinations together, you are losing a sale. So my suggestion is to concentrate the trip 100% in Ecuador, where you can do, for example, 2 days in Quito, visit a rose plantation, go to a cocoa factory, spend a day or half a day at the Papalacta hot spring that you are seeing on your screen now, and of course do a half-day tour of this beautiful colonial city. Then you can do 2 days in the highlands, visiting the Cotopaxi volcano and spending a night at an hacienda, and then go to the Galápagos Island for either a 6 or 8 days cruise around the islands. Enchanted Expeditions GMC has offices in Quito as well as in the Galápagos Islands. They have more than 30 years of experience in the country, and the founder, Judy Carvajal, was one of the first female naturalist guides in the Galápagos. This is a year-round destination, and because of its location around the equator, the weather is always nice and warm. When planning the trip to the Galápagos Islands, have in mind that they are located around 600 miles from mainland Ecuador, and you can take a flight either from Quito or from Guayaquil, which is the second most important city in mainland Ecuador. The Galápagos are formed by 15 major islands, and 97 of the land is national park. The main attraction here is the wildlife, and the first question we suggest you to ask your solo traveler if he or she is more interested in seeing birds or sea life. If bird watching is the thing, then we would suggest doing any itinerary concentrated on the eastern side of the Galápagos, where you will spot red-footed boobies, Nazca boobies, and albatross, among others. While the western itineraries are much more focused in sea life, like marine iguanas, penguins, whales, and dolphins. In this western side of the Galápagos, the waters are colder, and in the islands on the west side is where you will find also some active volcanoes. Enchanted Expeditions has 3 cruises to offer you and your client, depending basically on the budget and on their style. We have the Passion, which has capacity for up to 14 people on 5 cabins and 2 suites, and this is the luxury option. The Passion offers 8 days, 7 nights trips or itineraries around the Galápagos Islands starting on Saturday. Then we have 2 options on the 4-star category, like a 4-star floating hotel. This is before passing to the other ships. This is the Passion. It has a jacuzzi on the upper deck. And moving forward to the other options that we have at a more reduced rate, but still very comfortable. We have the Beluga on the superior first class category and the Cachalote Explorer on the first class category. Both of them are like a 4-star floating hotel. Each of them, the Beluga and Cachalote Explorer, has capacity for 16 people on 8 cabins, and they offer the same itineraries, and you can opt for either a 8 days, 7 nights itinerary or a 6-day, 5 nights itinerary. And the itineraries or the different sailings are departing on Wednesday and on Saturday. In any of the 3 cruises, we offer all-inclusive programs with all meals, English-speaking naturalist guide, lectures, and 3 activities or excursions per day. One of these daily excursions is snorkeling, and of course, we provide the wetsuits. Leaving behind Ecuador, let's dive deeper in Colombia, a great country for a solo traveler interested in cosmopolitan cities, cultural activities, and gourmet experiences. Colombia is the second most biodiverse country in the world after only Brazil, which is 10 times its size, and one of the only 17 mega-diverse countries. It has the highest amount of species by area in the world, including more species of birds than all of Europe and North America combined. Colombia is the only country in South America that has coastlines on both the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. Colombia is home to the Caño Cristales, the river of 5 colors, or the liquid rainbow that you are seeing on your screen now. It is located in the Serranía de la Macarena province of Meta, and the river's bed changes color between yellow, green, blue, black, and especially red, as you are seeing now, beginning the end of July and through November. Colombia is the world's leading source of emeralds, and it is also the third largest exporter of coffee in the world after Brazil and Vietnam. Colombia has a great connectivity with the US and Canada, offering daily flights from major cities to Bogota, the capital city. Just to give you an example, a flight between New York and Bogota can take 5 hours, or if we compare with Miami, Bogota, it takes only 3 hours. Some airlines also have direct flights from some key cities in the US to Cartagena and Medellin in case you want to skip Bogota. Bogota is on the US East time zone, so same time with New York and Miami. In this beautiful and mega diverse country, we can help you customizing an itinerary for your solo traveler client through our client Colombian Journeys GMC. They have offices in Bogota, the capital city. They do FITs. They also do groups, and even if they have some sample itineraries that of course we can share with you on our follow-up email, and we'll help you with some ideas. They tailor-made everything, and they do 4- and 5-star hotels only. This country has amazing attractions and highlights like the Coffee Triangle, the Pacific Coast, Tayrona National Park, San Andres and Providencia Archipelago on the Caribbean, among others. But on today's Solo Traveler webinar, we will focus in Bogota and Cartagena only as an ideal trip for a traveler interested in mixing a big city, culture, museums, nightlife, with some relaxing days by the beach, but still enjoying an antique old colonial town. You can cover those 2 cities, Bogota and Cartagena, in a week, 6 or 7 nights. But of course, if your client have more time, we can add, for example, 3 extra days and convert into a 10 days itinerary and add either the Coffee Triangle or Medellin. The starting point will be Bogota, the capital city, and on the first day we can include a visit to La Candelaria, which is a historic center with a great architectural and cultural heritage. We can visit the cathedral that you can see on your screen now. It is located on the eastern side of the Plaza Bolivar or Plaza Mayor, and this was the first church to be built in Bogota and is dating 1539. Then we continue to visit Fernando Botero Museum, which includes not only more than 200 pieces of artwork done by this famous Colombian painter and sculptor, but also some pieces from Picasso, Dalí, Monet, and Renoir. The next stop after Botero Museum will be the museum of the Gold Museum or the Museo del Oro, which I had the pleasure to visit on my first trip to Bogota in 1997. Just to give you an idea how amazing is the Gold Museum, and it's really very important not to miss a visit to this museum. They have a permanent exhibit of around 32,000 pieces of gold and 20,000 stones. It is a must visit, and I'm sure that you or your client will be amazed by the museum. The Gold Museum was opened in 1939 and has been functioning open to the public since then. Another great half-day tour is going to the Montserrat Sanctuary. It is located at the top of a hill, accessible by a funicular and offering a panoramic and amazing view of Bogota from above. On day number 3, You can take a full day tour, around 5 hours in total, to Zipaquirá and the Salt Cathedral. Again, I visited both attractions in 1997 when I was on a winter vacation with my family, and I think that those highlights are unmissable. The tour can start after breakfast at your hotel in Bogota, and it will be a driving land tour of about 1 hour and 20 minutes until you arrive to the Salt Cathedral. You will be able to visit the cathedral through different tunnels that pass by the 14th station of the cross until you arrive to the dome. Above the main altar, you will see a cross, the one that you are seeing on your screen now, that height 16 meters and has a width of 10 meters. Because its dimensions, it is considered the largest cross made from salt in the world. Lastly, and depending on your client's interest, we can arrange, for example, a full day art tour, visiting different art galleries, museums, and artist studios. We can do a gastronomic half-day tour, which include a breakfast at the famous and traditional bakery La Florida, a visit to the Palo Quemao market, one of the largest and oldest in Bogota, where you can find and try a wide range of fruits, vegetables, fish, and flowers. And we also go to a street fair where you can feel like a local, experiencing the different traditional dishes and enjoying some music by street singers. After a few days exploring a cosmopolitan city, we embark on 1 hour and 10 minutes flight to Cartagena in the north of Colombia and on the banks of the Caribbean Sea. This colonial city was founded in 1533 and was declared by UNESCO a World Heritage Site. As in other countries like Panama and Guatemala, there is the downtown or modern city and the old and walled city. This is where I highly recommend you have your solo traveler staying. There are hotels for every budget and style, and I have to tell you, my favorite one is the Sofitel Santa Clara. The walled city of Cartagena invites every traveler to explore its streets on foot or by a walking tour, so as to take advantage and learn more about the history, the architecture, and the hidden secrets of this magical place. A bike tour is also a great option to discover the city, and Colombian Journeys can also arrange for you a street food tour, an art and graffiti half-day tour, cooking lessons, and why not, a full-day tour to the Rosario Islands, which are located only 45 kilometers away from Cartagena, which is about 1 hour boat. The Islas del Rosario Archipelago National Park cover 120,000 hectares and consists of 23 coral islands that were formed around 5,000 years ago. Our last, but not less important recommended destination for a solo traveler is Bocas del Toro Archipelago in Panama. Some interesting facts about this country in Central America. Panama is the only country in the world where you can see the sunrise on the Pacific and set on the Atlantic. Panama has more than 1,500 species of birds. This means more than the US and Canada combined. It also has 500 species of mammals, 400 species of reptiles, and 800 species of amphibians. The Panamanian golden frog is the national animal of Panama, and they are considered good luck. Panama was the first country beyond the United States to sell Coca-Cola, and that happened in 1906. The Panama Canal that connects the Pacific with the Atlantic Ocean is used by over 10,000 ships per year and is considered one of the 7 modern world wonders. Panama is not affected by hurricanes at all, as it is located outside the hurricane belt. As per the flight connectivity between North America and Panama, It's amazing how easy it is to get into this country. Tons of daily flights from major airlines and cities arrive to Tocumen International Airport in Panama. Miami, for example, is only 3 hours flight away, and Panama is on their same time zone. When planning a trip to Panama, you will usually add 1 or 2 nights in the capital city, as there are some cool things to enjoy here, like a helicopter tour over the Panama Canal, a walking tour across Casco Viejo or the Old City, and some nice rooftop bars on the Old City as well. However, if your solo traveler has only a few days and wants to just relax and have sort of a getaway close to home, once arrived to Tocumen International Airport, your client can be transferred on the same day to the domestic airport and take a 45-minute flight to Bocas Del Toro Airport so as to start enjoying the pristine beaches here. Bocas del Toro is located on the Caribbean Sea and close to the border with Costa Rica. Due to its rich marine wildlife, it is considered the Galápagos of the Caribbean. The archipelago consists of 7 islands, being the main island Isla Colón, the one that you are seeing on your screen now, where the airport is located, as well as Bocas Town and our gorgeous hotel La Coralina Island House, which is the newest luxury resort in Bocas del Toro. The hotel is only 10 minutes drive from town and 15 minutes drive from the airport. We always include the transfer in and out from the airport or to the airport on our rates, and it is facing the Caribbean Sea and between the 2 most famous beaches among the surfers, Bluff and Pound. It is an adults-only property. We receive kids 12 years and above only, which make it the ideal place for solo travelers who want to relax and reconnect. The property has 23 rooms and 8 villas, all of them offering private balconies or terraces overlooking either the garden or the Caribbean Sea. Some villas have a private plunge pool in their own terrace from where you can spot dolphins playing around the Caribbean Sea. Even if the destination is ideal for people interested in water sports like scuba diving, snorkeling, paddle surf, kayaking, surfing, or surfing lessons for the beginners, the hotel is a paradise for those travelers interested in spending a few days away from home, connected with nature and surrounded by an environment that gives the possibility of connect with oneself and recharge energies. The hotel is very oriented to wellness, and we offer on complimentary daily basis yoga and meditation lessons. Around 6 to 8 times a year, we also run some retreats that are ideal for solo travelers, as they will be able to participate in some sessions and therapies with other travelers with the same interest in well-being and connecting to themselves. You can stay in Bocas as long as you want, but in my opinion, and after my experience of having traveled to this paradise already twice, I would suggest doing 5 days, 4 nights minimum. Water sports, as well as the sessions and therapies offered at La Coralina Island House, can be complemented with coffee tours, hiking to Bastimentos National Park, and of course, a delicious meal cooked by Argentinian executive chef Rodrigo Vázquez, who used to be the former chef of the Faena Hotel in Buenos Aires, either at the hotel's main restaurant or at La Coralina Beach Club by the beach. So this solo travel webinar in Central and South America is coming to an end. As you can see, there are many options for all budgets, tastes, and interests. For those interested in wildlife, as well as for the ones who prefer the nightlife and gourmet tours, for the sports one to the more adventurous, or those who want to take the most Instagrammable pictures. We are running out of time, but I will take a few minutes to answer a few questions that you might have been typing on the control panel, as I was mentioning at the beginning. In case I can't answer all because of time limitation, don't worry. I will make sure to contact each of you privately with the answer to your specific question. So let me check the control panel. Okay, we have a question from Sharon asking about the volcano eruptions in Iceland. Sharon, I will get back to you privately. We will be sharing with you some press releases and last minute information that we are receiving from our client Iceland Pro Group, okay? So it looks like, okay, Michael is happy with our webinar, happy to hear that you enjoyed this webinar and you found it productive. So it looks like we don't have any questions. Let me double check again. Okay, we are not getting any questions on the control panel. So just as a wrap up, remember that we will be sending you early next week a follow-up email, which will include this recording, the PowerPoint presentation, access to the trade pack from our clients, so you can use either the videos or photos for your itineraries if you want to use them to create any package to promote in social media. Please feel free to use them as you want. And well, if you have any questions, remember that you can always reach out to me. You have my email address at the bottom. And besides getting this playback by email, remember again that we will be uploading this on our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations, as well as on our website, emergingdestinations.com. It looks like I'm getting nice messages on the control panel, so thank you for your gratitude and have a great afternoon. And as always, anything you need, just drop me a line or give me a call, and have an amazing, amazing day. And if we don't chat before that, happy Thanksgiving for our travel advisors in US. Bye-bye.